welcome to the channel. I'm Gary and thanks for joining me today for this look at the Smiths song, You Just Haven't Earned It Yet Baby. This has been requested by a couple of the subscribers to the channel. It's probably not the first Smiths song that might jump to mind, but the more I've looked at it for this lesson, I think it's a really great part, and it's typical Johnny Marr really, making a lot of some fairly basic chords, but it sounds like there's a lot more happening, and it sounds really effective. If you've not already checked out my other lesson on How Soon Is Now, then please have a look at that, and I'm planning to do more Smiths stuff soon. As you can see from behind me, I'm a big fan of the Smiths, and my hometown was Salford. I grew up in Salford and Manchester, so it's when I was growing up, they were the band really in the 80s, so there's some great guitar parts to be had. It's still a new channel this. If you're new to it, then please subscribe. I'm trying to grow the numbers so I can grow the channel and put more content out, and please give me a like and let me know your comments. I'd love to hear from you. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into this one. We'll get nice and close up. Okay, there we are, we're in up close now, so hopefully you can see everything. This song's in standard tuning, there's no fancy tunings on this one, and I've got a capo at the 4th fret of the guitar, so I'll refer to shapes and chords by names, assuming that the capo is the nut, the 1st fret. Tone wise, I've got a little bit of gain through the amp, tiny bit, to get that jangle. I've also got a little bit of reverb, chorus, and a tiny bit of delay, and a very little bit of tremolo. It doesn't matter for those, but you know what I'm getting at really. You just want to try and get that bright, jangly, kind of ice cream van sounding tone. So just, depending on the gear you've got, the guitar you've got, then just try and get something along those lines. That's the kind of sound that we're after. Okay, so this one's it's fairly easy to play. It's got some straightforward chords in it, but with Johnny Marr, instead of just playing, strumming a chord, so that's just a B minor chord, instead of just strumming them, he sort of picks out individual notes in an arpeggio style, and it makes it really effective. Okay, so our introduction then is on this B minor bar chord shape, and you take your first finger on and off for some of it. I'm plucking from the 5th string to the G and then back to the 5th. And then I'm taking my 2nd finger off the B string, then back to the D string. Sorry. And then put it back on. And then take the finger off and just start playing the B and G string there. Okay. Like with a lot of guitar things really, it's harder to do it slow. And then we go to what I describe as the bottom part of a G chord, so I'm just holding down the 6th string at the 3rd fret and the 5th string at the 3rd fret there, and sort of brushing some of the string, maybe catching the B string and the G string, but you want to get that open 1st string, and then put your finger down on the B string at the 3rd fret, so it's not a normal G. I'm not holding down the 1st string there at the 3rd fret, I'm holding the B string down. Playing that B and then an open G. So far we've got this. we just go to a normal D chord and just downward strums. And that's where the vocals come in. So for the verse part, I think there's a couple of guitar parts going on. So, you know, as with a lot of things like this in lessons, I've tried to give a flavour. I'll show you what I think's happening. I've tried to combine a couple of the parts into one. So the main chords are just an A chord, strumming down like that, a quick down, up, down, to a G chord. And you can also sort of take your second finger on and off there at the 3rd fret, sort of every other time. You know, just alternate your strumming, just try and get the groove of the song. You don't have to do down and up every time. Okay, so on the original recording during the verse there is a second overlaid guitar part going on, so while the verse chords are going you've got, it sounds like a single note. So I'm just doing it there on the G string and the D string 2nd fret. It might be played on a guitar with no capo, because you can't really get much sustain or vibrato just playing those open notes like that. You could play it higher up the neck. But it's not really an important part, you know, you could easily leave it out and just really concentrate on those chords. Also during the verse chords there's a kind of pull off. So that's on the B string, the 2nd string at the 1st fret to an open G string, it sounds like. So it kind of would come in there. I don't know if it's played on a second guitar or whether it's played as part of the chord, but you can include it in the chord. But you just have to play the G chord using your 2nd, 3rd and 4th fingers to keep your 1st finger free to do that pull off. Again, it's a sort of secondary part really, you don't need it, but I'm just including it for completeness. Okay, so on the 1st verse then, we finish with a D chord, so it's kind of, you're grooving along with it. I'll tell you why, I'll tell you why, I'll tell you why. Onto the D there, which you wouldn't believe, and then we go to a, which is a B flat power chord, and then up to a C power chord. So okay, now on the 2nd verse, interestingly, I don't think it does that. I think it just stays on the D before you come into the chorus. So just have a listen to it, but you know, I think that's the way it goes the 2nd time round. I don't think we go to this for the 2nd verse. So that's the intro and the verse parts. We'll now look at the chorus. Okay, so for the chorus we're back to our B minor, a bit like the introduction. So it's a similar strumming really. Then back to the G. And then we go to the D again. can do a C sus there, sorry, a D sus, and then to an A, and again it's a sort of suspension really from barring the A. So all together for that chorus part. And that goes round a couple of times. Okay. And then at the end of the chorus, the last time round, you just stay on the D. You can sort of lead into the next verse with a little. Okay. So then you get a second verse, and then there's a kind of instrumental part, but it's again just riffing around that section. And after that follows a kind of interval part, like 4 little arpeggio chords, which I'll show you those next. Okay, for the arpeggio part, the chords are a G shape. So I'm just holding down the 1st and 2nd strings, 3rd fret, 3rd string at the 4th fret, and the 4th string at the 5th fret. And I'm just playing it from that D string. So I'm not playing the bass strings of the chord, so just the root, and then rake back on the thinner string. Just slide that down to an F, but just rake back on the thin strings, so we've got this. The next chord is actually a B flat, but you don't need to play the bass part. So what you can do, this is the important bit, barring those 3 strings from the raking down from the B string, B, G and D. So you can just sort of hold it down with that finger, or if you've come from these chords, like that, just sort of combine it with that previous chord. And then we're down to a C chord. But again, I'm only playing the first 3 strings. So it sounds like this all together, played slowly. And then after that we land back on an A sort of power chord, chugging away. B flat, and then back into a chorus. And those are all the parts for You Just Haven't Earned It Yet, Baby. Great song, I've really enjoyed looking at it actually, so I'm glad that somebody asked me to do so. I've enjoyed playing it myself. So that's You Just Haven't Earned It Yet, Baby by the Smiths. Great song, as always. Johnny Marr, well put together, good chord structures, good arpeggios, and great fun to play. Sounds really effective, so I hope you enjoy playing that one. Enjoy your guitar playing, and I'll see you soon.